And it's another busy weekend this weekend. We've got the Euro Tour back. We've also got the World Seniors Matchplay. What most catches your eye about this weekend's lineup of action?
We've talked a little bit about our views on the World Series. Well, at least I have. I think it was while you were gone for those couple weeks, but I remember talking to Han about it. Not the World Series, the World Seniors. All things considered, a bit over it. I understand the appeal of having a World Championship, but having a full tour, well, I understand why it's there. I don't see the appeal to watch it. I did not grow up with most of these players. They were before my time. Obviously, some of the players who are dominating the tour aren't that far removed from playing on the PDC and dominating on the PDC, including all-time great Robert Thornton, who became the world senior champion. But they can still go and play in the PDC and do so at a high level. So I don't really feel the personal need to go watch it. It might be different to go see it in person. If I was over there, I think that could be fun. But I'm not going to take time out of my day to watch all but maybe the finals of the senior events. It is still fun to follow, and if Mark Walsh had qualified, that would have changed things as well. But unfortunately, he didn't. But the Euro Tour event, I am more interested in, not just because, well, it's going to be a much higher standard, but also because we are now really getting close to the cutoff for the World Matchplay, and we keep alluding to that, we keep bringing it up, but the World Matchplay is the second most important event, at least ranking event, on the PDC calendar. If you want to say the Premier League's more important, it does have a bigger prize fund, fine, but it's not a ranking event, and there's spots to be had in the World Matchplay. And even beyond that, we're not that far off from the end of the season. It's weird thinking that. There's still over 6 months until we crown a world champion, but there's under 5 months until we set the field for the World Championships, and really under 4 months until the Pro Tour season comes to an end. And there's some players in this field that have work to do just to get to the World Championships among the qualifiers. Ian White is currently not in the World Championships, as hard as that is to believe. Steve Lennon, also not, after being in the last 4 or 5 years. They are both in this field as tour card qualifiers. Beyond that, there's Jermaine Watamena, also among the Pro Tour qualifiers for here, who has a lot of work to do. And these are players who, well, Steve Lennon's only made the World Matchplay once, but Ian White's been in every year. Jermaine Watamena has been in 4 years in a row. And not just are they not in the picture for the World Matchplay, but they're not in the picture for the World Championship right now. That just tells you how important these events are, and with the prize money that's at stake. You get £1,000 for qualifying, but each match after that is at least £1,000 more than that. If you win 2 matches, you're up to £3,000. You win another, it's another $2,000 on that to $5,000. And the time is now to start getting results. We don't yet know what the draw is. It very well could be Ian White draws Steve Lennon in the first round, and both of them need results just to make the World Championships, and one of them won't get it if that happens. But they also could get some of the regional qualifiers who they keep getting better, but you would expect on their day for Ian White or Steve Lennon to beat them. So I think that's the big thing. But beyond that, there's also, as we keep talking about, who's going to be the next first-time Euro Tour winner, and there's so many players in very good form that still haven't won a Euro Tour event. We talked about Dirk van Dijvenbode, who hasn't won a stage event of any kind in the PDC earlier. Is this his time? Well, we don't know the full draw yet, but if he gets through the matches and the seeds get through, Peter Wright, who's really been struggling as of late, waits as his potential third-round matchup. And then either Jose de Sousa or Nathan Aspinall, who've both been hit or miss this year. There's been moments of brilliance from both of them, but there's also been moments where they do not look like they should be seeded. So it's an opportunity for Dirk van Dijvenbode to go on a run. But who could potentially wait in the semifinals? Rob Cross, who's another one on that list of players who still haven't won it. Dimitri Vandenberg still hasn't won it. He's in the opposite half of the draw, along with Ryan Searle, Damon Hedda, Joe Cullen, who has won one, but still a very good player. So who's going to be the next first-time Euro Tour winner is another thing to look forward to, because there's just such a good field here of players who still haven't won one. It's tough to talk about it until we've seen the draw. That will change things, but there's a lot of players who we keep talking about in that conversation for best who've yet to win one, who are going to come into this in very good form. Is this the weekend for them? We'll see. Is it just going to be another one for Luke Humphries? Well, that's also very possible because remember, he's won the last 2 he played in because he skipped the last one. So can he make it 3 in a row? Another thing to look forward to.
Definitely is. I'll start off with the World Seniors like you did, and I think for a lot of us, the first one, the World Seniors Championship back in February, there was a lot of excitement, a lot of hype going into that one, that being the first one, and we'd had, I think it was pretty much 12 months of build-up from the event being announced to then happening at the Circus Tavern. The second one, yeah, I don't think there was as much of excitement among darts fans for that one, and we come on to this third one, the World Seniors Matchplay this weekend, and again, I think the interest level may have dropped among the watching darts fans, but just looking at the draw, looking at the players that are going to be involved, and there is some games definitely there that I'm looking forward to watching the first couple of days. And starting off with the very first one, we've got Dita Hedman against Trina Gulliver, one of the great rivalries that we've seen in the ladies game over the last 10, 15 years, and getting to see those two go up against each other on stage again, something that we don't often see these days. So that's going to be a good game to start things off with. That, I guess you can say, with these events, that nostalgia, if you like, thinking back to the great battles that they've had in the past, and the winner plays the best ever, Phil Taylor, later on that evening as well. So again, something for those two to play for, to then go up against Phil Taylor later on in the evening. Some other games from those first couple of rounds that I'm looking forward to: John Park, Peter Manley. Again, that's a rivalry that I think when I was first started watching darts, the early 2000s, those two were among the best players in the world. John Park, of course, a world champion, and Peter Manley, a world number one around that era. So looking forward to seeing those two go up against each other. And got to give a mention as well to Peter Everson, the guest on the show this week. Think back to when we had him on around this time last year, and we were talking about the lineup for this first World Seniors, and yeah, some of his comments, they didn't go down too well about him not being invited, but he has got the invite for this one. He is a former World Matchplay champion, so I'm looking forward to seeing him in action. Larry Butler's back involved in this one as well. Ronnie Baxter, we're going to see him playing it as well. We've not seen him play for a while, so again, I think it's that nostalgia value, if you like, for these events, seeing some of the players that we've not seen for a little while, or don't see as often now. As far as the Euro Tour, again, like you say, the draw is not out, but from what we can see, as you say, Luke Humphries, he's won his last 2 Euro Tours, missed the last one. Can he do something that not many people have done, win 3 Euro Tours in a row? That's one of the big questions going into it. A few other things I was looking at as well, and Ross Montgomery, I believe this is his first European Tour event. If you'd have said that this time last year, Ross Montgomery playing on the Euro Tour, you'd have had a few funny looks coming your way. But he is a tour card holder. He did win the qualifier, and we are going to see him in Germany this weekend. So again, something to look forward to. Ross Montgomery playing on a Euro Tour for a first time, something we've not seen. Scott Williams, a guest that we had on the show last week, of course, he is a non-tour card holder, but he has qualified for this event via the associate member qualifier. And you mentioned that race to the World Matchplay. He's a title winner a couple of weeks ago on the Pro Tour. He's not very far off those World Matchplay spots. And as he pointed out to me last week, there's now 4 Players' Championship events before the cut-off, end of next week, going into the following week. So he's going to be in all of those. He's going to be in the Euro Tour this weekend. A couple of wins this weekend, some good runs next week. We could be talking about a non-tour card holder being in the World Matchplay. So that's definitely something to look forward to. Some other players as well that are in it this weekend: Mervyn King, Roby John Rodriguez, more than capable of going on a deep run, getting into those World Matchplay spots. And just lastly, on the Euro Tour as well, this is going to be the last stage event before the World Matchplay. So you've got the likes of Peter Wright, defending champion of the World Matchplay last year, Gerwyn Price, Michael Van Gerwen, Michael Smith, Johnny Clayton, who all had those first round defeats in Amsterdam at the weekend. They'll all want to go into this weekend, go on a deep run, lift the title, give themselves a bit of confidence going into the World Matchplay in a few weeks.
Good point about Ross Montgomery. That one had slipped my mind. I still don't believe it, even though